A major victory for college athletes in Ohio. Today, Governor DeWine signed an executive order to allow them to profit from their name and likeness. Tonight, local athletes and their families called this a pivotal moment.
My name is Malik Devis, and my title is the Assistant Director of Compliance and NIL. NIL is pretty much just a way for student athletes to be able to earn compensation through using their name, image, likeness, whether that's autographs, appearances, social media, commercials, things like that. So anything that they can put their name on, or someone is using their face or their likeness, it's a way for them to earn money or just be compensated based on that.
Rob Senderoff, I'm the men's basketball coach here at Kent State. For years and years and years, you've had athletes, predominantly in the sports of football and men's basketball, help produce tremendous revenue for universities, athletic departments, coaches, administrators, and they have not gotten more money than an actual scholarship. And some of them have gone on to play professionally, some of them have not. And they have gotten their education paid for. It's been great for them in that regard, but they've helped create tremendous wealth for others while they haven't gotten a piece of the pie.
Flashes create that turnover off the inbound. Tavon Cameron Davis, quick trigger, got it. Bond for three, his second of the night, 10th of the year. Kent State by 9.
My name is Vaughn Cameron Davis. I go to Kent State University, and I'm a forward. This is all new to college sports and college athletes. Like, this is definitely a different type of money, and I definitely think all the student athletes. I think the student athletes deserve all the money because we go through a lot, and it's a year-round process where you work hard, you study hard, you do everything, and I think student athletes deserve that. Well, it's definitely an adjustment to how much money you actually do get and how much you will be making.
My name is Haley Eckerman. I'm the head volleyball coach here at Kent State. If NIL was around when I played, I probably would have never gone pro and probably would still be in the space of being an athlete or using my name for that. It helped because of the fact that I had won a national championship, and that alone, being a Power 5 school, being a contender in the Final Four nonstop, I see what the Texas kids now have. So the girls are getting hotel deals, working with Marriott, those deals that they're getting, the cars. I also was a mom at the time too, so just the things that I probably could have gotten, even if it was just the products, I would have even been fine with that. Like, instead of spending the $400 on a stroller, like, hey, I'll talk about this stroller for you kind of thing.
At a school like Kent State, where there isn't millions and millions and millions of dollars generated from the sports, it's a little bit trickier. What we need to do, and we need to make sure we do, is twofold. One, we need to make sure that our situation from a NIL/revenue share is competitive within our conference. If we want to compete within our league, we have to be competitive within our league.
Well, NIL is really important, whether it's retaining your current roster or helping your roster grow through the transfer portal or high school recruiting.
So when I first got here, those kids were kind of at the end of their time when NIL was starting to be a thing. So I don't think it was as much of a focus for them, where now these kids are coming in as high school and it's the conversation of every conversation basically. How much money am I gonna make? Do you have NIL? Do your kids have NIL? So for us, we try to steer away from like the money amount that they'll make, but more of the opportunities that they could have, but getting them to understand that they have to work for it. But it's definitely changed the game just in general, seeing that athletes are picking where they're gonna go based off of the NIL.
Yeah, you're not going to recruit kids that are going to go to the Big Ten or the ACC. But we weren't recruiting kids that were going to go to the Big Ten or the ACC pre-NIL either. So that hasn't changed. In basketball, there's 350 college basketball teams. So we were never going to get the player that's going to go play for Duke or Carolina anyway.
You know, for us, it's going to be more of the product piece. I don't think we're going to have kids making thousands and thousands of dollars off of it. But I think for my kids, it's going to be more, maybe not necessarily like a monetary thing, but more of like a product which they would have spent money on anyways.
Well, we have a department here, and we have a gentleman here, his name's Malik. He does a really nice job. He works to try to get not just my players, but the student athletes as a whole, as many different opportunities as possible.
Approaching NIL opportunities can be kind of frustrating at times, but honestly, I think like the experience I've gotten, at least through my years, is that you just got to be you and just post what you want and post what's kind of in demand at the time. But definitely just stick to what you're doing and stick what you believe in and what you post. And usually a business or a company will probably reach out to you, most likely.
I think it's a great way for them to interact with companies. I think it's one of the main ways that they interact with companies, since it is an open line of communication, whether a company wants to reach out with them through social media or they want to reach out to the company through social media. It's a great way to make that first interaction, that first point of contact.
I try to protect my kids in the sense of the social media aspect of NIL. And we haven't had anything that has happened to us that has gone viral or, you know, been put out in the public like that. And I think that it's hard to protect them in those spaces, but they also have to know that when it comes down to it, their image is what's being represented. And so after a while, if they're the name in the face of it, when things do hit the fan, whether it's their sport or not, they're going to be the first ones that get asked the questions and that get the blame and that get those, you know, those comments and those things. So really just trying to prepare them to kind of block out the media when it comes to that stuff and take themselves away from just being in the conversation and just allowing, if they do have incidents come up, making sure they're communicating with me so that I can help protect them. I think that's part of being a mom. I'm just so protective of them on that aspect and trying to not allow them to even almost be in those spaces if it's going to hurt their image.
Our school, I think, does a really nice job in terms of education, making sure these contracts are legitimate, whether it's the taxes are being taken out, all of the different things that a 19-year-old, 21-year-old, 22-year-old isn't really thinking about all that much.
Not every contract is a great contract. So we had somebody come in a couple years ago and he read off a contract and it was like $10,000 to represent our company, and who would take it? And every kid raised their hand. And some of the coaches were like, well, I wouldn't, because it doesn't tell me how many pictures I have to take, how many things I have to post. And so if you have schools that have the right support, they're able to help them kind of process the contracts. And then that's also why we have these third parties that help in that space too.
Well, to build a new arena takes years and years and years to do. To invest in a team through NIL, through revenue share, takes 2 months. So it takes the right coach, it takes the right players. It's not as if you just dump a whole bunch of money into your players and automatically you win. But if you don't have resources, you can't win.